What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In this video, we are taking on the debuting clash that just came out today on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global, being Carrot. So before we get into the breakdown of the actual stage itself, let's talk about the character and why you should be farming her up. So Carrot is an int slasher fighter character. Same class combination as her legend counterpart. She is an int character this time though. Her captain ability will reduce the special charge time by 1 turn at the start of the quest, and she's a 3 times attack booster to int and quick characters, which is pretty good honestly. Base 3x with cooldown reduction is fantastic. So for free to play wise, this is a pretty decent captain ability. Now her special ability, as you can see, I did actually get her maxed out. Throughout all the farming, trying to get all the different variations recorded, I did actually get enough copies to max her out. It is double skill up upon her release, so perfect opportunity to max her out. So she's a 12 turn max cooldown, reduces the enemy's defense up, which is the blue shield buff, by 3 turns. It reduces your team's increased damage taken debuff by 3 turns as well. It deals 30 times her attack in int damage to all enemies, and boosts the attack of int and quick by 1.75 times for 1 turn. Overall, fantastic special ability, honestly, just all round a really good special. However, if you use her special in the same turn once again, it changes from a 1.75 attack boost to a 2.25 times attack boost instead. Now, normally this would be kind of tricky to handle. However, there is a sailor ability here that says that whenever another int or quick character uses their special, reduces this character's special cooldown by 3 turns, and she's got a 12 turn cooldown. So after using her special, if you use 4 other special abilities, she will be ready to go. Or you can use this in another way. You could go ahead and, use her special on one room, and then after using a bunch of other specials, you can use her special again in another different stage. So this is a great character overall to get maxed out. Like, this is highly suggested. One of the best raids in the game, in my personal opinion. She is very strong. She also has the ability to make her own recovery, tandem, and quick slots count as beneficial, which is pretty good as well. As for her potential ability, she has critical hit of a 50% chance for 7% extra damage. She also has a special cooldown reduction, so she will reduce her cooldown by 10 turns at the start of the fight. So when you have max cooldown sockets, she's going to be ready to go upon stage 1, which is fantastic to have. And then she does have a support ability supporting any int character. 5% of her stats is added to the support character. So overall, I'm a really big fan of this character. She's got a great captain for a free-to-play unit. She's got a great special that can be used on multiple different stages, or you can use her on one stage for a massive different boost. Really big fan of this. Make sure to go ahead and farm her up. But without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss Clash Carrot. So getting into this, I have 4 different teams for you guys in this video today. We have a KonradCurze team right here. Let's go ahead and quickly talk about each of these specific stages. So on stage 3, there is a new debuff in the game. Well, I guess in some ways you can apply it as a buff depending on how you use it. But in this specific circumstance, it is definitely a debuff. So you can see that there is a new mechanic where your orbs will be like under a barrier. You have to hit a perfect in order to unbind that orb. And nothing that you can do will change the orb that is locked inside of that barrier. And before they do that barrier, they give you a full board of empty and block orbs, which is kind of annoying to deal with. So you have these guys with the barriers. You do get a little bit of an opportunity here to try and stall out, to hit your perfects, to enable you to unbind those orbs. And then you got to take them into stage 4, where there are 2 separate variations. There is a variation against Brook and against Jinbei. You guys will be seeing a variation of all of them for all the different teams here. So against Brook, he has 5.2 million HP. He has an immunity buff. He applies normal attacks only. He gives you a 4-turn chain lock, and you want to get rid of that. And he also will paralyze your entire team for 3 turns. After the first turn of attacks, he'll bind your captains for 7 turns. And after turn 2, he gives you increased damage taken. So you definitely want to take him down on turn 1 when you first encounter Brook. Otherwise, bad things are going to happen. Now, after that, you will go over to the final boss, but let's talk about the Jinbei variation. So you can either encounter Jinbei, or you can encounter Brook on stage 4. The Jinbei variation is a little bit different in the fact that he has less HP than Brook, but he does have a revive mechanic. So he also will apply 4 turns of chain lock. He's going to give you attack down instead, and he removes all your beneficial effects. On turn 2, he'll apply 7 turns of despair, and on turn 3, he's going to blow away your bottom row for 6 turns. So you definitely want to kill him within those first 2 turns. So turn 1 to kill him. When he revives, you want to kill him again. You want to make sure you do not take too much time here against this Jinbei and Brook fight. Now we can talk about the final boss stage. So Carrot herself is an int character with approximately 8.9 million HP, and Carrot does have a delay immunity and a defense down immunity, so you can still apply a poison effect to the Carrot raid boss. She'll also apply a special limit, so you can only use 2 specials on the final boss stage for 98 turns. So again, that is quite a restriction there, so you want to try and carry buffs into the next room if you can at all possible. Carrot also applies a 4-turn defense up, so again, you need to bring a character to remove that defense, and then also she'll apply a 9-turn ship despair, so your ship effect is completely nullified on the final boss stage, and she actually transforms into a strength character as well, which is pretty bizarre. You want to try and aim to bring quick characters to deal as much damage as possible. After turn 1, she applies paralysis to your team and removes your beneficial effects. Don't get her below 20% because she's going to apply lots of bad things, and she does have an interrupt, so whenever you activate a chain boosting or a chain locking mechanic, she will counter that. So if you lock your chain, she removes your beneficial effects, and if you boost your chain, she applies 5 turns of paralysis. I think that's how it goes. That might be in reverse. It probably makes sense if it was in the reverse. Either way, just don't use chain boosting effects because she does really, really bad things. So that is the team I had against Carrot with the Katakuri team. The secondary team that you guys are seeing is a V2 Mihawk team. This team was actually really, really fun. The character here that we are using with the Fujitora, he's a very, very essential unit because you're using Fujitora before you move on to stage 4, because both either Brook or Jinbei apply a chain locking debuff. If you already have a chain lock, that will be nullified. So Fujitora, for those who don't know, he applies 2 turns of a 2.75 times chain lock. So he's pretty essential for this team. We've got Bobbin to go ahead and remove the blue shield buff that Carrot will apply on the final boss stage. We have the Kaku to remove the paralysis and the attack down, whichever one will be inflicted to us on stage 4. Making sure though, with this team in particular, make sure that you do have an int or a dex orb on Kaku himself before you move on to stage 4, so that when you launch his special, you'll get a full board of int or dex orbs, whichever one you want, or if you just have matching orbs in general, right, whatever, as long as making sure that your team gets a full board of matching orbs on this stage. Then you've got Zoro. Zoro is very good here because you can use his special on stage 4 to get an attack boost, and then if you hit 4 perfects, you get a 2.25 times attack boost in the following turn. So it is a little bit tricky because against Jinbei, he will revive, so you want to make sure that you can kill Jinbei, and then when he revives, that's when you want to go ahead and launch Zoro's special to get an attack boost on his revive turn, and then carry that buff into the room with Carrot. So that's the way that this team works. I'll go ahead and discuss the future teams once we get to those in this part of the video. The next team we're talking about is the Douglas Bullet team. Now, the most useful unit on this particular team is definitely Colosseum NL. He's going to be great for a lot of different teams here because his special ability can remove the chain lock, it removes attack down, and it removes paralysis. It basically can get around every single debuff that gets inflicted on stage 4. So having Colosseum NL maxed out in this fight is going to be great. We're also using the treasure map Ace, which will enable us to get a full board of strength slots and Douglas Bullet treats them as beneficial for our entire team, and it also gives our strength characters a 1.75 times attack boost. I think it also gives our quick characters a 1.75 attack boost as well. So overall, really, really great special ability here. We've got the 2 Douglas Bullets as well. They're really, really great. You guys will be seeing how those guys will be implemented for this particular team. But on the final boss stage, we can only use 2 specials, and the 2 specials that we are going to be using on the final boss stage against Carrot is going to be Treasure Map Big Mom and Colosseum Ores. Now, Colosseum Ores, you could replace him with like Bobbin, for example. You just need a character that can remove the defense that gets inflicted on the final boss stage. So we're using the Ores for that. Now, we are using a support of the Psy Rare Recruit Jinbei that is actually attached to this Big Mom. And if you guys don't know what he does, he actually will go ahead and whenever you launch a special for the character that he attaches to, you also get a 0.2 chain boost. Now, that's not a very major chain boost, but that additional damage will be very, very important. I think that this team overall probably might not be able to kill if you don't have that specific support effect. Unless if you have some sort of way to get guaranteed matching slots, because I am attacking with G slots with this particular team. So I guess Bobbin actually might be a better option, because Bobbin can grant you some beneficial slots on top of removing the defense. So I suppose Bobbin is actually a better option just to get some more beneficial slots, but depends on what kind of characters you have in your character box. But either way, that is the way that this team is working, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the final team once we get there. So the final team in this video is a Bartolomeo and Cavendish team. I have not used Barto and Cavendish for a very long time. However, I did notice in my character box that I actually recently just Limit Break expanded them. So they are fully maxed out, like the highest capabilities that they could possibly have. And luckily enough, when I actually went to my friends list, I had also another friend that was Limit Break expanded with their Barto and Cavendish. So this is like optimal Barto Cavendish territory that we're in right now. So with this team, we have Colosseum NL once again to remove those debuffs that get inflicted on stage 4. We also have Treasure Map Smoker. Treasure Map Smoker is a really, really great special that can go ahead and give your fighters and your driven characters a 2x orb boost, as well as a 0.7 chain boost. And then depending on which boss we get on stage 4, we activate specials in a certain order. Either we activate Barto Cavendish turn 1, or we use them after the revive against Jinbei. Then another thing to note as well with this specific team is we are using a support character of Quick Rare Recruit Ace, and that enables our quick characters to get a 1.3 times color affinity on the final boss stage. Now, looking at things, I don't really think it's super duper necessary to have it, but it definitely will enable you to get even more damage output. So if you have it, I would recommend putting it on your team. And then for the final boss stage, we are using the Legend Doflamingo, and also we are using the Treble. The Rare Recruit Treble to remove the blue shield defense that Carrot will go ahead and apply, and it also gives our driven characters a 2x attack boost, and then Doflamingo, adjacent orbs matching, and a 2.25 times orb boost. And then with the color affinity of the support effect, that's more than enough damage, as well as making sure that you have either Rare Recruit VV or the free-to-play VV, whatever it is, as well as or Margaret. Either one of those two supports on our Barto Cavendish to get a guaranteed matching slot on the final boss stage, and that's the way that this specific team works. So that is going to wrap up this video today, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.
Don't 出番だ。行くぞ。出番だ。行くぞ。